Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Up Encrypt. Today on the show, we have an investor, a mentor, and an investment banker, Rachit Chawla, the founder of Finway FSC, a leading fintech company that offers a range of digital lending solutions for personal, business, and education loans with a focus on simplicity, transparency, and speed. Additionally, he's the founder of Multyfi, a platform that helps users invest their money in the stock market through automated trading strategies using AI. He's invested in more than 50 startups and has mastered the art of building value for people. During this conversation, we talked about fintech, AI, algorithmic trading, entrepreneurship, the stock market, and more. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow for more and stay tuned for the next one. Without further ado, here is Rachit Chawla. Alright, let's start with you first. So, what was the journey? How did you get into entrepreneurship and startups and business?
So, Shaurya, I was always belonging to a business family,
Alright.
and I have grown up seeing, all sorts of business deals in my family, in my house.
Mm-hmm.
The idea was always to do business, but it was always a given thing that I'll be joining my dad's business, not
Mm-hmm.
doing something on my own because being the only son, my dad has done fairly well. So he had
Right.
really expanded his logistics business. So it was a given thing that I'll be joining him. So when I
Mm-hmm.
joined him, I thought that there's hardly any new energy or insights or big changes I'm able to make in the organization. But my
Right.
heart was somewhere else. My heart was always in the capital markets, always towards finance, fintech, and I
Mm-hmm.
used to read a lot of reports which said that in future the wealth industry, the finance industry is really set to boom because of credit inclusion and a lot of reasons.
Right.
So I always wanted to do something on my own. I spoke to my dad. I said I'm willing to take the plunge and give me your blessings, give me an exit from this family-run business. I want to make a name on my own, and he was very supportive. And that's how the first company I started was a fintech company in which we went to RBI. We took the license after doing all the compliances. It took us 2 years just to lend our first ever loan. But since then, since 2017, the growth has been significantly at a fast pace.
Right. Right. Awesome. Um, you have your own company. You have Finway right now. So Finway is a fintech company. Am I right?
Yes.
Right. So to those who don't know fintech, what fintech means, what happens in the fintech industry, and all those things, can you explain what fintech is?
So fintech is actually two words. First being finance, second being technology. So you combine both, it becomes fintech. So ultimately, any financial solution that you are able to provide leveraging technology
Right.
is fintech. So in my case, I am able to disburse loans using technology.
Mm-hmm.
However, in absence of technology, the loan gets disbursed by a lot of lengthy documents wherein
Right.
the borrowers have to sign a lot of pages, and the process is very cumbersome. It's very lengthy. A lot of paper gets used, lot of energy, manpower. But if you convert it to a complete online journey and everything is done by leveraging technology, it becomes fintech where we are. That's like the easier way to understand.
Right. And how did you get the inspiration to start Finway?
Now, I have always looked up to Mr. Uday Kotakji. So,
Right.
what he's done with Kotak Bank is
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And his insights to what is going to happen in future also is really, really valuable. So, I
Right.
always wanted to do something in this phase because, my inspiration was Mr. Uday Kotak. And I can't start a bank straight away. I have
Mm-hmm.
to start somewhere. So I drew a vision for the next 5 to 10 years, and of course I wanted to become a banker.
Mm-hmm.
Now I had to start it somewhere. Now
Right.
NBFC and this fintech company was a great starting point for me. hence I'm here. But of course, it's just a starting point. We are just starting. It's a huge journey, and we are trying to do a lot of new innovation things also. Along after starting this company with a clear vision in my mind that we have to become a big finance related wealth management brand and platform.
Awesome, awesome. So, talking about inspiration, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, so what I've seen recently is that so you have these two ways to get ideas for a business. The first one is through inspiration, like you did for Finway, and the second one is through seeing an open market in any industry. So, for example, AI in the last 2 years has been booming a lot. So people have seen AI, and there was no real inspiration behind starting an AI company or anything of that sort. But they just saw an open market, and they went into there. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but does this happen that there's these two things, inspiration and then you see an open market in this space?
So, Shaurya, I feel people identify problems.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, if I have to find a way alternate to inspiration, I think it would be there's a problem that the person is facing and he comes up with a solution. The solution, of course, could be in the form of an AI,
Right.
but even AI is solving a problem. So, a
Yeah.
lot of businesses are made just to solve problem at a larger scale. Now, one of a very big bootstrap company called Zerodha,
Yeah.
who's doing phenomenally well, and a lot of people get inspired. But actually, why was it launched? It was launched as a discount broker. The
Right.
problem was that retailers were paying huge amount of brokerage.
Yeah.
Flipkart
Definitely.
was born because of accessibility to all the books you can think of in India.
Right.
And the innovation that Flipkart came is with cash on delivery. It was unheard of. It was
Mm-hmm.
like cash on delivery is, I think, an innovation in India done by Flipkart only. These businesses who are able to take the risk of solving bigger problems could be in the form of product, delivery, or any innovation within that bigger framework. They get an edge, and that's how they're able to create something very meaningful and very big.
Right. Yeah. Got it. Got it. So Finway was inspiration of yours, and you got to the market. I think your company is was established 6.5 years back. I guess around that time, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, we got the first RBI license in 2017.
Right.
That's when we disbursed our first ever loan, and
Right.
since then the journey has been really nice. We
Right.
are growing at a significant pace, and
Right.
also as you go along the journey, there are certain other companies also which we have built around it,
Mm-hmm.
so that those other companies are nothing but subsidiaries which help the main company run at a faster pace.
Got it. So once you establish the company, you must have had competition. So how do you deal with competition and all those things?
So end of the day, I think you need to retain customers. So we were very clear that we are competing with the likes of big players who have deep pockets.
Right.
The only way to sustain in this competitive environment is to ensure that the customers prefer you. Now, how will customer prefer you? First, if the customer is very price sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
then you will have to give the best price wherein the margins gets really cut.
Yeah.
So we did not ever compete in that space.
Mm-hmm.
We only compete on space wherein we are getting decent margins, but we are catering to the customer wherein the customer needs a premium service. So we
Right.
never went for mass market as such. We were
Mm-hmm.
always going to people who were ready to give us a premium, our margins, some quality level of service, and we were able to not only sustain them but also grow them. And also, we offered a lot of new products to them,
Mm-hmm.
due to which they still are, in this journey, they're still with us. Not only sustainability standpoint but also growth standpoint, because we also depend on referrals to a lot of extent.
Mm-hmm.
Referrals is what is continuing to help us grow.
Right. 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 That's awesome. So you established a company, you get out of the competition, you did your that, and then COVID came. So what happened during COVID with the Finway?
So COVID came, and that's when we realized that it's time to go, full-fledged digital company.
Yeah.
We had like in our NBFC, it was a very challenging moment because
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, RBI told us that look, do not ask for EMIs.
Mm-hmm.
We give you a moratorium for 6 months. Do not
Right.
call the customers asking for money. It's a complete lockdown.
Right.
Now, on one side, we had to clear a lot of bills, we had to clear a lot of salaries. The only source of income for us is the interest income,
Right.
which became absolutely zero.
Ooh.
Now, during the first 15 days, and this is where the team really steps in. This is where the strength of the team gets tested in difficult times.
Right.
We had a lot of meetings with all the main team members, thinking what do we do next. Luckily, we had decent account balance, which acted like a runway for us to sustain through those 6 months. So that was not a challenge. But being from a business background and a business family, every single month in red, in loss, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe a negative cash flow does not resonate with us.
Yeah.
So we were very, very itchy that, how can we have a month in red or how can we have a negative cash flow in any
Mm-hmm.
given month? That's when, Multyfi was born. So
Okay.
Multyfi was earlier called AlphaBot,
Right.
but we rebranded it to Multyfi recently in the year 2023. So what it actually does is it involves utilizing ML and AI in the stock markets, and
Mm-hmm.
it is into automated trading. So that difficult period, we were able to still make decent money because of the stock markets, because we had a great tech team in house. They
Yeah.
were easily able to replicate the old strategies that I was using personally in my personal Demat account at a larger scale. So we were able to not only automate it but use a lot of AI based algorithms that
Right.
run on our company's accounts so that we are able to generate decent profit every day. And that is what kept us going on in that difficult time.
I love that. I love that. So, 2 years back, I think so. Multify or AlphaBot is 2.5 years old. I guess that's what I think. So I
Yes.
think that's the time when AI was about to boom. Like that was starting point for AI to boom. So now I have a question. So um, tell me, right now I feel like the amount of capital required to raise or to build an AI based company, which or any company which utilizes AI, is quite low compared to 2 years back when AI was in the process of becoming big. So what do you think about that? Was capital requirement for AI more at that time compared to right now?
I would say that the main capital requirement when it comes to AI is actually the resource who's working with you. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that point of time, very few people talked about it.
Yeah. Right.
So they were very rare to find. Luckily, with me, I found the right person.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer of manifestation. Like, how the universe throws this red carpet at you, and you just have to walk towards your vision and your goal. So
Right.
it happens so that during the same time, I called a friend of mine who was actually doing this since many years,
Okay.
but he was working in Canada at a very big company, which primarily does this. He happened to come back to India because
Oh.
of this COVID, because his parents were alone in India.
Mm-hmm.
So I tied up with him and I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm totally free. In fact, I was waiting for my next project. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I said, let's meet and why don't you come over to my house? Offices are shut and let's do something nice together. So it all comes down to, being at the right place at the right time and just being very lucky. So the first phone that I made he was absolutely free and he had all the skills and knowledge to actually implement what I had in my mind. So that really helped. So I mean, keep trying. I just picked up the phone randomly, but my effort is always there to bring a value to the company, to add something. I was still thinking. So sometimes I see a lot of people saying that, how are XYZ so lucky I'm not? They don't understand that XYZ must have done some sort of effort, maybe low or high, it doesn't matter, but some level of effort. That's why he turned out to be lucky. So I
Right.
think the company did fairly well during that time also. And one more thing happened during that time. My tech team became very efficient. Now, there were a lot of technology players who didn't have to go to the office, like, who were
Right.
working at Amazons of the world. But
Yeah.
since they were at home, they were able to take a lot of freelancing jobs.
Yeah.
So when I'm getting a very, very highly paid resource at a very little price because he's collaborating as a freelancer, that also added a lot of value to our fintech company. We were able to add a lot of new features in our product. We also launched our mobile app that helped us create a great distribution network.
Right. Right. Okay. Got it. So Multify is basically an app that does trading for you.
So I'll simplify it for you. So there are very rarely some discretionary profitable retail traders in the market across India.
Right.
Why they are not successful is because when you're dealing with money, you tend to get very emotional.
Yeah.
Everybody's to
Definitely.
some extent very attached to money.
Yeah.
Now, how a human brain thinks? Human brain thinks that today the market will go up, or you will think that the market will go down, or you might think that the market will go sideways. But human brain is not capable of thinking that the market might go all these three ways. I
Right.
don't know, because human brain always and always likes to be in control.
Yeah.
Whereas what Multify does is, Multify starts 9 a.m. in the morning thinking we don't know where the markets will go.
Yeah.
And they have thousands of layers of codes, data science behind it,
Right.
which decides later on at 9:15 which side trade should be triggered. It might
Ah. Okay.
start with bearish, it might end with bullish, it might start with sideways, it might end at sideways. But everything is absolutely automated, no human intervention. It is doing the exact same thing every single day. So it gets very boring for any human brain because we like
Right.
action, we like excitement.
Yeah.
That's why
Definitely.
places like Vegas is generally full because human beings like to be in a lot of excitement and action, and they always want these kind of things in business also. What
Yeah.
we have created is a simple tool to create passive income wherein you control the money. The money lies in your demat account. It is absolutely in your control. It is absolutely transparent.
Right.
We have got certain proprietary 18 to 20 strategies
Okay.
which covers all sorts of market environment, market scenarios. We only and only depend on certain trigger points, and then Multify takes trades. Generally, we have seen at any given month, we are able to make decent returns. In case of losses, the losses are always backed with stop losses. So the losses are minimum, but the winning streak is, the upside is huge.
Right. 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 Got it. And how do you earn profits through your app through Multify?
So we have two sort of subscriptions. One is pay as you go, as in you give us a monthly subscription and you get
Right.
access to the strategies. And
Right.
the
Right.
other one is mainly for ultra HNIs
Right.
who have a lot of large scale of capital, wherein they say, I don't want to go to the app and choose strategies. I don't have the bandwidth. So we sort of tie up with them, wherein, we provide them our strategies, whichever they want to use, and we take the charges as per the strategy.
Got it. Got it. So while building Multify, did you ever thought of this thing that I'm building something that might replace financial traders out there?
I don't want to replace financial traders because that is where my bulk of my profit comes from. To be
Right.
honest, the float is very important. I always used to think that retailers will continue to take part in the markets. It is because of sheer excitement.
Right.
I haven't met a single discretionary trader who says that I'm profitable. 9 out of 10 traders
Mm-hmm.
make losses. But
Definitely,
the
yeah.
funny thing is, those 9 traders never quit. They
Hmm.
are
Yeah.
still taking part in the markets, continuously taking part in the market for someday they might earn. But if you see
Yeah.
their PNL, most of their profit goes into either brokerage or one fine day they convert it into a big loss. So they are not sustainable over a longer period of time. I was a discretionary trader, so I knew a
Hmm.
lot about the markets. But since 3 years, I've not sat in front of the screen because I
Hmm.
feel it's not worth it. You take wrong decisions.
Yeah.
B, you are not profitable. Third, it's a lot like it's time consuming. Fourth, I think then there is no scope for further innovation.
Yeah. Right. 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 And what do you think of AI getting into finance and trading and all? How do you think it'll? Do you think it'll have a huge impact in the industry that one day everyone will use AI for financial trading?
It's I I won't say everybody will, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel AI has already you know people are using AI in the finance industry,
Yeah.
left, right, and center. The use is huge. I think now the next wave of jobs will get created around AI. Now,
Definitely.
example, when internet came, when the computers came, for a fact, everybody said that now computers have come and there will be less manpower usage, this, that. But it didn't happen that way. What
Yeah.
happened was more branches, more banks, more brands started coming up.
Right.
So the
Right. Yeah.
usability of computers with resource, it was a great mix wherein the market expanded. I feel
Hmm.
the AI will help the finance industry expand like anything.
Yeah.
Now imagine AI doing the financial credit underwriting for me. I will
Hmm.
feel very safe. So what I'm going
Yeah.
to do, because I'm saving time, I will expand my business. When I expand my business, I give more credit to a lot of people. When I'm giving more credit to a lot of people, those people will turn into their businesses. So as an
Definitely. Yeah.
economy, everything expands. So I think AI is not a threat. I feel AI would act as a boom to other businesses. So if people are able to incorporate in their businesses, I think they will be in the winning side and in the forefront of the change.
Definitely. With my in my second podcast with this guy called Joseph Murad, he said this great thing about AI. He said that it will not substitute jobs or anyone. It will enhance jobs and everyone out there. It will help you, in fact, to in anything you do. So if anyone's scared of getting fired or anything of that sort, it won't happen. If a person will not replace you, but a person using AI might replace you. That's what he said.
Yes, absolutely. And I totally agree. It's not a threat, it is a new way of looking at things.
Yeah, definitely. So, how do you ensure safety on security of funds in your company in Multyfi?
So, good question, Shaurya. The first thing that we do is I don't know if you know or not, but to do options, you only require margin, you don't need cash. So, the first thing
Okay.
that we do is we invest the entire money in fixed deposits.
All right. Got it.
That
Yeah.
way, that way we know that okay, we'll be getting 7% in from the fixed deposit, and the money is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on top of it, we have stop losses in place. We have our internal RMS team in place to ensure that even if there is some issue in the exchange, some issue in the markets, we are
Mm-hmm.
able to take care of the positions. We also have a solution in place wherein by click of a button, all the positions get squared off. So that's like the emergency
Mm.
trigger. At
Right.
portfolio level also, we have automated exits wherein if your any day loss increases 1.5%, the
Right.
position gets squared off automatically and no more trading for rest of the day. So what
Right.
essentially that means is that you are still in the market for the next day.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
markets are not a place for people who are very greedy or very fearful. So you have to be somewhere between those two. We never feel that okay, this month we'll get 10% a month from the market. No. Our
Right.
standard is that if it's a very good month, we get 4% return. If
Hmm.
it's a very bad month, we get 0% return.
Hmm. Yeah.
But somewhere in between the average, the idea is to get beat the index and to get at least 20 to 30% return consistently per annum
Hmm.
on a very large corpus. So that's how we have built Multyfi. We have taken all the precautions also in terms of hedging all our positions. So people who know stock markets, 80% of our entire portfolio is actually intraday,
Right. Got it.
and positional is still risky, but intraday your risks are still controlled because you
Right.
are
Yeah.
able to monitor your trades and there is
Hmm.
nothing outside of your control. So that's how we have made the entire infra.
Got it. Have you ever thought of adopting new technologies for your company, like blockchain, to secure more funds or to get those things in place or anything of that sort?
In all our companies, we are continuously innovating technology. Having since you have mentioned blockchain, see, blockchain we haven't incorporated as yet
Right.
because it's a great technology, but in finance right now the cost of implementing it is too high. So, like you said,
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
AI was expensive 2.5 years ago, and now it's not.
Yeah.
We are waiting for blockchain to become more accessible. It's a
Right.
great technology, and in finance, I think it will do very well. We are just waiting for it to slightly, go at a fair value, and that's when we'll start incorporating it.
Yeah, I feel like in India it has been a little bit slandered because of the word cryptocurrency. Because here the tax on crypto and all has come down, and people here think of crypto as more of a scam than an
Yeah,
investment. So once you say blockchain with crypto, people tend to get a little scared in India that we don't know, we will not adopt blockchain because it's associated with crypto and that's a scam.
yeah, true. But it has nothing to do with crypto.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
is an underlying technology on which the crypto is actually functioning. But
Right.
blockchain is, I think, in future it will be accepted globally.
Definitely. Like, I think the number one issue with blockchain right now is the gas fees you have to pay of every transaction. Like, for every transaction you do on crypto, you have to pay a particular gas fees for Ethereum and all, which is very, very high. And that's in US dollars. And once
Yeah,
you convert that into INR, it's off the roof. So once
yeah,
that comes down a little and little, I think that's the time when we'll adopt blockchain more.
yeah. And in terms of the financial structure that India has, it's very robust. I mean, leaders like HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, they're already working towards leveraging this technology.
Right.
And once they leverage at such high scale, I think it will automatically become accessible to the smaller players.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. That's true. So what were the challenges you faced with Multify in the early stages?
So I think challenges keep on changing as your journey is growing.
Yeah.
Initially, I used to get a lot of tech challenge,
Yeah.
and it came to a point that I used to call my CTO and say, कि boss computer को कैसे पता कि today is a profitable day and today only the servers had to go down. Why
Right.
cannot it stop working on a loss making day? Why
Right.
always it is working? But I think everything takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely.
the journey has been, now it's stable. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
earlier I used to get a lot of tech challenge, a lot of technology challenge. Now also it's a part of a learning curve because we were trying to do something which nobody has done. It
Yeah.
was a new
Definitely.
technology that time. Plus we were doing it everything proprietary. Everything that we do is patented in our control. So those are the little hiccups. Also, I'll tell you one more thing is apart from the technology challenges, I feel other challenge is the HR. I mean, people have become very aspirational.
Yeah.
So, people see the stock markets, they feel it's very glamorous. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if
Yeah.
you have seen the series Billions or not.
I have, I have, I have. Bobby
Yeah, so
Axelrod, yeah.
everybody want to be Bobby Axelrod in this industry, but that is a fictional, like that is
Yeah.
not reality.
It's not,
As
definitely.
I said, in reality, you really have to give yourself time, and there will
Yeah.
be a growth, but at a decent pace. It cannot be that overnight you will become very rich. So
Right.
there has to be a vision in place. There have to be multiple business goals in place. You learn throughout the journey. But in HR, the challenge that we faced very early on is sort of retention. Like
Mm-hmm.
people used to change because stock market is really become very glamorous now.
Yeah.
3 years ago, it wasn't that, but I've seen a lot of youngsters. They want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Now opportunities are also there, so they are also trying to do it themselves. So I think in terms of challenge would be my HR and tech. Tech is still sorted now, but
Yeah.
HR still continues to be a challenge.
Right. Because what caught my eye with the company was the fact that you have these companies called Alpha Grip and iRage Capital, a lot of companies in same algorithm trading. But those companies are like 10 years old, 12 years old, and you established a company of algo trading in just 2.5 years,
Yeah,
which is
but those
commendable.
those companies are actually into high frequency trading.
Right.
I am into medium frequency trading,
Got it.
and those companies are global companies. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
now the when I say I am getting HR problems is actually because the big companies are paying them so well that a small company like me cannot even think of it. I
Right.
mean, they really have very huge pay scales, and in this
Hmm.
market right now, because not many people know about algorithm trading and how
Yeah.
HFT and MFT works.
Yeah.
There are very selected people who understand it, but people who understand it are paid really, really huge. I mean, computer
Right.
science background people, engineers, I think their pay packages have become really insane.
Definitely. I want to add this thing about AI for once. There's three words: omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence in AI itself. So 2 3 years back, AI was not in these three words. It wasn't following these three things. It was nowhere. Now it has entered being omnipotent, being omniscient, and being omnipresent. Even though it doesn't have full control over all these three things, it's still coming in because it does not have complete control over action and decision. That's omnipotence. It lacks ability to comprehend and interpret information right now, like ChatGPT does. That's omniscience, and you it's not omnipresent because it's not present everywhere right now. In the next 5 years, it might happen that these things become more and more advanced and it's present everywhere, which is a bad sign because once it becomes omniscient and omnipresent everywhere, that's the dark side of AI comes in. And that's where takes control of the banks and everything else. That's what I wanted
Yeah.
to add for a minute.
Yeah, so I think every technology that has come till now, every single technology has good use and bad use.
Yeah,
Like even let's take crypto as an example. A cryptocurrency, it is very useful if
yeah,
you're doing cross-border transaction because it
absolutely,
is
yeah,
quick, it has got less transactional charge attached to it, it is available on a click, it has got a lot of positives.
yeah,
But now certain people started using it for either financial terrorism, or they started using it for keeping their black money
yeah,
or some wrong things, right?
right,
Now you cannot control them. Now
yeah,
because you cannot control them, you cannot say that the entire technology or rational is behind it. Now in AI,
yeah,
I feel people are already very cautious because they know that this technology is too powerful.
yeah,
If given the liberty, then this technology can be actually proved to be a reality. What we have seen in sci-fi films,
yeah.
that the entire robots taking charge of the planet,
Terminator.
all that. Yeah, because it is very powerful. that's why a lot of companies, like, when I see Elon Musk interviews, he's very clear in his head that
Yeah.
this technology cannot go out. It has to
Yeah.
be used in a manner wherein we have to have checks and balances place every single place. So everybody is aware about the dark sides of this technology, so I think they will try to avoid those kind of pitfalls. The
Right.
technology
Right. Right.
used very, very cautiously, not like any other technology.
Definitely. But then also Elon Musk launched his new company, X.ai, and that's a new thing. And I don't know if it's true or not, but it might be a coincidence. But XAI also happens to be a domain of AI, which handles decision making and all those things. So if he is making XAI, it also might be a chance for him to incorporate decision making in AI.
Yeah,
So it might make decisions
could
for
be.
us. I don't know if that's true. If that's a conspiracy theory, but I don't know if it's true. But it does seem true to an extent.
Could be, but I will be not worried till the time a person like Elon Musk is taking care of such
Yeah,
technology
definitely, definitely.
behavior.
Yeah,
Because he's a very very respected and he's a very far-sighted individual.
yeah, definitely. Let's come back to algo trading. So, what do you think is the future of this technology?
I think it's very bright. So in India, I think 8% of people are actually having registrations in DMATs. I mean, taking part in the stock markets.
Right.
92% is still not active. Whereas I feel next decade is definitely India's decade. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday only, the figures for GST collection came in. Record high
Mm-hmm.
GST collection ever.
Right.
1.82 lakh crore. That speaks volume
Yeah.
about the kind of business which is coming to India.
Right.
Uh, with the current government, I think India is really rising and really doing very, very well. Uh, I feel people will enter into algorithmic trading. Even if they're not, I think the technology of algorithmic trading will become more accessible and easy. End of the day, it's not about algorithmic trading, to be honest. It's end of the day the strategy that gives you
Yeah.
money. Algorithm is
Absolutely.
nothing but mixed set of rules. So
Mm-hmm.
the rules will continue to give you money till the time the rules are actually being respected by the market. End of the
Yeah.
day, it is the market who will decide what to do. If there is a structural change in the market, then you go to zero and rebuild the entire algorithm from zero.
Right.
But it's not that easy because it requires a lot of data science, a lot of machine learning, a lot of AI to come up with the right set of solutions. So
Yeah.
people will come towards algorithmic trading, but I feel the scale would be still less. Still, there will be
Mm.
layers. Like there would be a technology player, there would be distributor, and then there would be negligible retailers. I
Yeah.
doubted that every retailer will try and build an algorithm. That's not going to happen because it's very expensive. It is successful only at a very large quantum.
Yeah.
If you have a small capital, you will rather outsource the technology rather than doing it yourself.
100%. Yeah. Agree with that. Yeah. Totally. Um, let's come back to 2018 when you were building the company. Let's talk about team for a minute. How do you pick people for your company, or how do you pick people? Who do you want to hire? The tech team and everyone.
So, the first thing that I look in the person is trust. I mean, for me, everything else is secondary, but the guy should be trustworthy. Now, the
Bang on. Yeah.
easiest thing to look after, like to understand and gauge, is that whether that person, I mean, we have background check verification companies.
Right.
They
Right.
tell us if there is any litigation going on. So
Mm-hmm.
if there is no litigation going on, the person doesn't have any bad record, I can trust him.
Yeah.
That's a first step of trust.
Mm-hmm.
The second step is I generally talk to the parents,
Mm.
because if the parents have a right mindset, the kid is bound to follow certain discipline and certain ethics. In
Mm.
finance, the biggest problem lies is in finance you have accessibility to do fraud very easily
Yeah.
because all day you're dealing with money. For me, everything else comes secondary. but the person has to be super ethical. So
Hmm.
that's how, and I don't pick up the juniors any which way. I'm only more concerned over the, the top managers, the COOs, the CTOs. They, like, I don't hire fast. I take my time. But
Hmm.
yes, I tend to fire very fast.
Hmm.
I hire very slow. So that, I think that works for me, because
Right.
rather than wasting time in induction and then choosing that it's not working for me, it wastes a
Hmm.
lot of time for the entire organization. So like my Multyfi COO, his name is
Hmm.
Mr. Darshan Rathod. He's been with me since day one.
Right.
So we
Hmm.
have, that sort of comfort with each other. If you
Right.
talk
Right.
about the Finway Fintech division, Ronak Verma is the CEO since the very beginning. So
Right.
we, like, generally when you hire slow and you hire right, then you don't see these challenges at the top management.
Hmm. Got it. So, would you look at skills or the degree the person holds?
Definitely skills. Definitely. I will not look at degree. I will definitely look at skills. I mean, degree is a good starting point so that the person gets filtered. But
Yeah.
after that, it's only skills. And a lot of times I've seen that the guy has displayed such good skills that we have gone to the extent of avoiding the degree also.
Wow.
So, in my company, there are people who might not be graduate also, but that's fine as long as they are hardworking, they are ethical, trust is there. It's fine.
It's
Degree,
the right. It's the leverage actually. The degree just gives you a leverage if you have no leverage in the real world.
yeah,
If you
the
have
first
leverage,
uh, degree
right.
becomes the first filter point. But once you have a lot of experience, I think even that gets looked upon.
Hmm. Yeah. Definitely. Um. Now, how do you manage both of the companies, Multify and Finway? Because those they are two good companies, big companies, and they're growing very well. How do you manage both of them?
Yes, so I have divided days. So I don't mix both the companies at any given day, because
Okay.
in the morning only you have to wear the hat that today you are the owner of this company.
Right.
And entire day I work towards that company only. I do not think about the other company.
Hmm.
End of the day, I think the organization itself has become very system driven. I mean, the organization doesn't need me, but it
Right.
definitely needs my vision. It needs my imagination for the future that I see the organization to become.
Mm-hmm.
So day to day is any which way sorted because of the team that I have. But in terms of future growth, I have alternate days kept for each company, so that
Mm-hmm.
the monitoring and the growth and ensuring that we are in sync with our main goal of the company and vision, just to get the entire team back on track. So that's how, and it works well. Plus we have different offices. So if I am in X
Right.
office, then I'm thinking of that company only.
Okay. Got it. Got it. It's a very random question I wanted to ask. Do you think work-life balance is real?
It is, like, you have to take conscious effort. I mean, I've seen people uh, who don't follow it but still say that they follow it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's up to that person. And work life balance is also very subjective. Some
Yeah.
people might say that going out of the office at 5 p.m., taking Saturday, Sunday off, is a work life balance. Some
Right.
people might think that only taking a Sunday off completely with your family is a work life balance.
Yeah.
So it is very, very subjective. I think
Yeah.
people should, just follow what works for them. There is no
Yeah.
set rule. End of the day, your heart will tell you whether you're doing the work-life balance or not, and everybody has got a different perspective to it. Just
Hmm.
do what you feel is right.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Any skills you feel like are the most crucial ones for this decade that
Computer
need to be?
science, without
Yeah.
fail. I mean, if my kid was 18 right now and asking me what do I do, I would tell him, boss, just do computer science and do discretionary stock market trading right now.
Yeah.
Once you
Definitely.
have the capacity and capability of leveraging computer science into stock markets, you don't need to do anything else. There is
Yeah.
so much money, so much happening in the markets that you don't have to look at any other option.
Yeah, I feel that. I totally feel that. After my board examinations, I was like sitting and just relaxing for the next 2 days. After that, I sat down and I was reading books on investments, on finance, because we were never taught that in school.
Yeah.
And that
And
is the most
this is
crucial thing in the world. Financial education. It's very crucial.
so it's really very different. Like my son goes to an IB curriculum school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Over there, I am surprised to see they don't burden the kid with knowledge which is not available in other space. They only burden the kid with things which actually matters. Like
Right.
they are teaching my 5 years old how to use an iPad.
Yeah.
They are teaching mindfulness to my kid. They are
Mm-hmm.
teaching gratitude, manifestation,
Right.
uh, leadership skills,
Right.
because
Yeah.
everything else what we were taught is now accessible. We were taught when Google didn't exist.
Yeah.
Now everything is available on Google. Now you can verify everything by chat GPT also. I mean,
Exactly.
whatever you want, it is click of a button. So
Right.
knowledge, I think knowledge or bookish knowledge has really not has actually lost its relevance now. You need
Absolutely.
to work on your skills. That's most
Right.
important.
The issue is people keep consuming and they never execute. That's the issue. You can consume 100 times the thing you want, but if you don't execute, you're doing nothing. And that's the entire game.
No,
That's the entire game.
execution is the key. So I'm an investment banker and invested in more than 15 companies in terms of startups because I'm a director of finance technology of Rises Accelerator,
Right.
wherein we accelerate a lot of startups. Now I see people come up with ideas and they start valuing themselves that I have this idea. Idea means nothing.
Yeah.
It is only and only execution. And there
Absolutely.
are so many examples. I mean, again, coming back to Zerodha's example,
Yeah.
Zerodha didn't have any great idea. I mean, Upstock is also having the same discount brokerage fees as
Mm-hmm.
Zerodha, or even better. But Zerodha had the capacity and capability of executing it so nicely
Yeah.
that and their UI is phenomenal. So UI also
Absolutely.
is nothing but execution.
Yeah.
Execution is the most important. Even if you can pick up any idea, but execute it flawlessly, you will be really successful.
Right. So you invest in all. I want to ask, do you what kind of startups do you invest in?
So I invest in startups which are somehow linked to my core business. The
Yeah.
businesses that I know. Like right now, my favorite has become education,
Mm-hmm.
but not general education,
Yeah.
only education related to stock markets. So I've invested in a
Ah.
startup called Invest School.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that does is they basically have everything you need to know about stock markets in 60 seconds or less. That is the
Right.
problem that they are trying to solve. That there are so many videos now on every topic. Who has the bandwidth to spend so much time? So that
Absolutely.
I thought was a great idea. Another company that I recently invested in is Zebra Learn. Zebra
Okay.
Learn is into IB based teaching and bookmaking of on stock markets. So suppose you want any topic,
Mm-hmm.
they will teach you how an IB curriculum will teach you in colorful graphics in great format. So if you want to read a book, then you can just buy anything from Zebra Learn and the concepts gets clear to the root. It's not just text. It is
Mm-hmm.
real life examples. So that's into publishing, self publishing actually.
Right. Right.
So, but everything will be rolling back to my core business, what I
Mm-hmm.
am doing for living.
Got it. Got it. So two skills are computer science and finance and stock markets. Those
Yes.
skills you should know. Got it. Any piece of advice you would give to people who are aspiring entrepreneurs like me? Any advice you would give to them?
Just read a lot of books. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel, YouTube videos and all are great, but when you are reading book, you're actually interpreting it the way you want to interpret it. So that gives you a lot of power. You're
Absolutely.
able to find all the solutions to all your issues inside of that book. So try to
Yeah.
read at least one book every month.
Yeah.
That will really lead a long way. Secondly, be kind to everybody.
Yeah.
And once you're kind, good things will happen to you. Third,
Got it.
I
Yeah.
would say just be very passionate to what you're doing. Don't
Mm-hmm.
do something just to make somebody else happy. Try to first make yourself happy by doing what you love. If in
Yeah.
the morning you're not excited to jump out of bed, change what you're doing. I
Yeah.
have changed and I've seen the entire journey. Earlier, I used to hate Mondays. Right now, I hate
Right.
Sundays. I want Mondays to continue. Earlier, I used to look forward to public holidays. Right now, I hate public holidays. I just want to be in my office and working. So, you get enjoyment out of your work if you're following your passion. So, do
Yeah.
not compromise on that. And rest, I think, believe in manifestation. You'll you'll
Yeah.
have an imagination, have a vision, and just have take small steps towards that vision.
Adding one thing to passion, I think it's also important to be obsessed with what you do. I mean, obsessed in this time is it's a word that people don't use. It's in a negative sense, but I think obsession is very crucial because once you're extremely obsessed, beyond obsessed with something you're very passionate about, that's when the results will come in.
Absolutely sure, yeah. I mean, you are very passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's why we rescheduled it couple of times, but you did not lose patience. So that's a good. And I kept on saying sorry to you because
No
I was
worries.
feeling very bad that I'm continuously rescheduling.
No
So being
worries.
persistent is the key, and I totally agree. I mean, you see that movie on McDonald founder. I mean, the
Yeah.
name is the
The
founder. I
founder.
think
The
it
founder. Yeah.
says what? It says I was just persistent. The
Yeah.
owners were not. I was. So that's why I was able to build a great empire. So
Bang
I
on. Yeah.
totally resonate with you.
Bang on. Bang on. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this. It was a great conversation. Awesome
Thank
one.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much for.
so much, Shaurya. It was great talking to you. Really loved the entire episode. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you've reached this point, thank you so much for tuning in. If you love this episode, don't forget to give a follow and rate the podcast. I am your host Shouryaa Sharma, and I will see you again very soon. Out.